So obviously you guys got an email from me today and you got the most fairest evaluation possible, right? It was accurate, 100%. How does it make you feel? How did that make you feel getting that fair evaluation that was completely correct?
It was informative.
Okay, was it completely correct?
No.
It wasn't completely correct. How did you feel? That's on your evaluation. Your work evaluation. How does it make you feel? What? I'm the boss. I wrote that up.
It was a little confusing. I thought maybe you mixed me up with somebody else.
Oh my gosh. Did I? That's you, right? Because I wrote that. I'm the boss.
But I also think that maybe you said for everyone, but
Oh.
it made me confused. You said you. And
Oh,
you put my name on the top.
I put your name at the top.
Yeah,
And that's all I did. So
Yeah.
you're just a number? How does it make you feel just being a number?
I mean, like, I feel kind of like, I mean, it's hard to say because it's always make me confusing what you try to talk like private with me or you want to say to anyone.
Yeah. How does it make you feel?
It made me feel bad because I created.
You thought you did something wrong. What about you guys in the back? How'd that make you feel? You got your email? You obviously looked at it? You're looking at it now. You're like, oh! How'd that make you feel?
Extremely confused.
Extremely confused.
Confused.
I got 2 emails, so now I'm definitely confused.
Okay. He got him because he's in 2 different classes.
No, only one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. How'd that...
Informed.
Informed. So you felt you were fairly evaluated. Even though I didn't even look at your stuff and I just sent you a spam email. And I just said, this is you. So, everyone acts like, I'm supposed to care about you, but you're never supposed to care about me. You're supposed to be the boss, right? At some point. Organizational management. And then, when it comes down to it, more people.
All right.
We get more people. They're 2 minutes late. Do we evaluate them for that? No, but if you look at it, right? When it comes to actual people that you're going to have to lead, but also what if you have to cut them? What if that's the email they get? That's the email that Google sent out, basically. Congratulations, your job's cut.
You lay off.
Yeah, you're laid off. Sorry, dang, you're laid off. How'd you feel if you got that email and it said you were laid off and it gave you an unfair evaluation of what your work had been?
That's a really good question because I did think like that like yesterday when I'm watching video people lay off and I'm thinking like the first question was why did I lay off?
What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to get a meeting with a supervisor and ask him what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
But the problem was about maybe the supervisor fix something you do unprofessionally. Like you come late or something, you say this is your unprofessional.
What if you're just a number to them? They have to cut 4 people from their unit. That you didn't do anything wrong. How does that make you feel?
I feel like that. I feel they are really unprofessional. But
Unprofessional because they cut? So you guys are going to have a paper to where you're going to cut the bottom 10% of the university. You're going to have to make hard choices, and 1% means an employee.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel now that you had this misjudging email that you're going to have to be able to send out these emails? You're going to say, sorry, man, your job's gone. I don't care what you got going on in your life. Amy, do you feel that that's going to be acceptable?
I might have to evaluate them first.
You're going to have to evaluate them first?
I wouldn't just base it off of like what I feel. I would base it off of like the feel.
Are you sure? Are you going to have time to do that? What if we don't have time? We made a mistake. I always love this one. We made a mistake. We now have to cut. That's what Google, we made a mistake. How does that make you feel? It's a mistake. Guess what? You only got maybe 2 months to figure this out. This unit, XYZ unit, they can do with less. Sorry. Does that put a little pressure on you? How about the fact that you guys are my boss? What if I showed up late to this class? You're still paying $238.17. The one thing that you missed was how much money did you miss off of those 2 days that we had to take off? Don't worry, we just took those days off. You still paid for them. There's people still coming in. I love this. But think about it. Like, that's money, right? So all of a sudden, what if we get less money because people decide they're not going to come here? Uh-oh. That's kind of exciting. People just decide not to come here. And we're not like the state. State schools, they can figure that out, right? State will always just tax more. I always love it when anybody who works for the state, and I've worked for the state, so I'm not bitching too much, but they always go, I've cured the budget. You know what they did? They just raised your taxes. They raised your permit fees. That's all they did, right? So they didn't have to really make. Ooh, they had to sit in a public hearing, and they still said they're going to raise it. Little different when all of a sudden it's your customers, right? It's people that don't show up. Uh-oh. Who are the customers here at this university? Who are the people with the least amount of voice in this university? It's the same people. Right? Same. Am I whispering enough? Same people. But I mean, so, like, as customers, how would you feel if I showed up late and I didn't prepare at all? I said, hey guys, let's just hang out today. Oh, hey, class is canceled for no reason. How would you feel? You have the floor.
You're wasting my time and money.
Okay, so you're the customer, right? So I have to deliver every single time. I mean, if I'm sick, you got to kind of give me something. Maybe they have a replacement, right? If I'm not killing it on stage, because I always feel like I have to be a stand-up comedian sometimes. But at the same time, you expect to be delivered with a product, right? So all of a sudden, half of you don't show up anymore. Half of you go, and it's not even my fault, right? Well, so now we have this concept that we have to do for this paper. This is exciting stuff. You guys are going to get to murder certain units if you want. I don't care. You got 10% to cut. What's 10% to you? What are you going to cut?
Some clubs.
Some clubs. Okay, what's the effect if we cut some clubs? No, what's the effect?
The people in the club don't get a, I guess don't have a voice anymore, or don't get a have that activity.
Why do we have activities? Why do we have student activities? That sounds stupid.
So we can have a sense of inclusion.
Is it only a sense of inclusion? What am I also getting you out of?
Classes.
The dorms, right? Because what happens if all of a sudden you guys sit in your dorms? What also happens beyond boredom? All of a sudden you start being by yourself, isolated, right? I mean, I've been there. The point is, right? So you've got to document. You've got to make sure that stuff actually works. Why do we want to document?
Because it leaves a paper trail, so if they try to accuse you of things or say, oh, I didn't know, you can't fire me, I had no warning, so you have physical proof, I guess, to show that you did.
No one lies, right? Especially when they're getting fired, no one's going to lie, right? It's kind of like office equipment that suddenly goes missing, like little Post-it notes and everything else. Nothing ever goes missing, right? It's all just, what it is. So we've got the documentation there. How much before we reach our living end? How many shots do you give somebody? How many shots do you give somebody?
I'd say probably 3.
Okay.
That's fair.
And then what else do you do?
With a warning every time.
And then do you also bring in other people? Maybe so you have verification of proof that you have tried. See, we have to think.
Probably on the first one, it would just be like a heads up, and then the second one, maybe bring in some other people.
Okay, so going back to what he started with, right? Because everyone always tries money or to get fired. You see the in-between? You try to work with people. You don't try to give them a reward, but you also don't try to bludgeon them, right?
Right.
Send them to guillotine the first time, right? Yeah.
I'm kind of confused what you mean bringing other people in kind of as a warning.
Do you not think that you want to bring people above you so that you have the ability to show that you have been fair? Do you not feel that you're being evaluated when you're evaluating others? Especially people that are horrid. Right, Austin? Do you not feel that that's the case? Do you not feel that it's important if all of a sudden you were with a group, say of soldiers, and one of them starts slacking off, and you've tried to help them as a leader, and then all of a sudden bringing somebody maybe even your same level or above you to showcase that this person has not gotten with the program.
You always have to have a witness.
Why is that?
Oh my gosh, because it's makes a he said, she said thing non-existent. You have a witness, and either side protects both. You have to have those. I've never gone into a counseling by myself where I have to find a positive or a negative or corrective counseling in that sense.
Because what are you doing when you're documenting? What is that other person doing?
They're backing you up.
No. I'm talking about the person you're documenting against.
Oh,
What are they doing?
They're under attack, so they want to get defensive or figure ways to wiggle out to possibly come back at you for being wrong in any way.
Okay, so I want you to visualize that person that you really don't know if you don't like them. I don't say hate, but there's somebody you don't agree with, right? There's somebody in your head that you know, you've met. Maybe they're friends of a friend, right? You don't even know why they're friends with your friend, but whatever, and they don't get along with you. Now pretend that's your coworker. That doesn't even have to be somebody that you oversee. How quickly is that person going to turn into a problem for you? See, everyone talks about it like you're always going to lead. But what if that person's not doing their work? What if that person's sending out wrong emails? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you're having to correct it, and now that person's upset. How quickly does that person go to your boss and complain about you? Did you do anything wrong? No? Wait, I thought we only did things when it was right or wrong with our bosses. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to deal with people that just do not like you. Dang. Do you think you're only going to work with people that like you?
I don't think so.
No.
We want to meet people. We gotta meet a lot of new people.
We got to meet a lot of new people. What if they're really not good at their job?
Best thing I can say, I'm not staying out complaining on them or something.
So how are you going to handle that?
Yeah.
Because you don't have the ability to oversee them. How are you going to handle that?
I'm not saying that I gotta kind of do his work or something, but I gave him like a shot. First time I'm trying to teaching them what they do mistake or
Okay.
something, and if the second try he still do the same thing like that, I will warning them about
Wait, you're warning them?
No, I'm
You
not,
have no rights over me. I mean, this whole we're equals. Why are you telling me what to do? Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to say? Who are you going to talk to? I mean, we're coworkers, and I'm just not really doing my job. I'm drag ass. What are you going to do?
The people above us,
Who's the people above us?
our boss.
Our boss. And what are they going to say? No, what are they going to say?
How are you noticing not what you're supposed to be doing your work?
So, isn't that a defense mechanism too? Why does that become a defense mechanism?
Because they don't want to deal with it.
They don't want to deal with it. How does that make you feel as an employee?
Unappreciated.
Unappreciated. See, he's answering for you. This is great. I was looking at you. This is fascinating. Wait. That's a ventriloquist thing. Do I pull a cord and all of a sudden he talks? I don't know. Who knows? The point is, right? So you might have the ability to complain. You might have the rights.
but not demonstrate to the people you work with.
But isn't it who notices also, as opposed to whether or not? It's kind of a weird mindset, but you got to think about how to kind of protect yourself. So even if you can't put forward a personal performance plan, what are you also doing as a fellow coworker? What are you doing?
I may be ignoring them,
So you're only ignoring them. Are you not documenting when these things happen to ensure that you're not blamed? Didn't we talk about this, Austin? Having a witness?
Yeah.
So maybe an email. Hey, man, this needs to be changed. Hey, man, this needs to be changed. I had a person that said that I had never told them, my weekly emails.
Yeah.
Those are documentation for me, too.
Yeah.
Because when somebody says, oh, I wasn't told, which happened last semester, and this person sent out, to a higher up, and they said, hey, Well, not a higher up, but whatever. Another person. I sent them all 10 emails, PDF. Who does that help?
You.
And who does that also help? The other person, because they're having to talk to this person. Verification, right? And it's not trying to be nasty. What ends up happening when you do it that way as opposed to complaining about people? You don't look like the asshole. You don't look like you got a vendetta. Because we're all going to deal with jerks. Remember those people that you don't like? Some of them are going to be jerks. Some of them are just going to have a bad attitude. Plus, you might see something. Probably good to document it. By the way, what are emails? But documentation, right? They're time-stamped. It's hard. You know who was stupid? Dick Cheney's chief of staff, Scooter Libby. He wrote everything in email. That's why he went to prison. It was about outing Valerie Plame, CIA. But he put it all in email. And so they went to court. And he didn't think that those were verified memos. Because, they're older generation. Older generation, by the way, doesn't believe anything after they were age 42 is any kind of verifiable technology. Once they hit 42, and I'm 48, so I'm throwing myself at this, but once you hit 42, you don't really believe in certain technology. So you don't believe they have any kind of effect. So if I'm 58 years old and I'm having to use this email stuff, what do I care? Here it kind of scores, right? So you need to have an email track record of what people say, even if you're not in charge of them.
So
Why is that important, Dang?
So because you want to creating like a business to protect yourself when they complaining on you and your boss, because like you need to finish your work.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then why is that important when we're talking about layoffs or cuts? Why is that important? Why is that important to have verification that you're doing your job if somebody else isn't?
Again, you're going to be not picked to be fired.
Not picked to be fired. Not picked to be laid off.
Well, less likely.
Because what happens if we're the friends of a friend and that person doesn't like you? They're still friends with the other person. What if the boss is really shining on that person? Amy doesn't really do anything. I mean, I'm sorry. Madison does, but Madison, she's kind of told us that you're not really up to snuff. Why does Madison need to have verification of what she does? And verification of any kind of issue she's going to get blamed for? Because Amy's going to blame you for stuff.
So then I have proof to back up my point of view with timestamps and evidence. Like, hey, I did my best, I tried, but these were the responses, or you were responsive in the situation, and then I can't be blamed for the work that's left undone because I have proof that I tried everything in my power to get it done. It just didn't get done. It's someone else's responsibility.
I tried. It's not my problem. I'm not in charge of Amy, right? I'm not in charge of Madison. Look, boss, just so you know, this is what I'm seeing. Because here's the thing. When you get into this layoffs thing, and I know it's kind of weird that you're going to lay off people or you're going to cut things at the university. This is going to be fun. But some of it you're kind of going to be benign to. You're going to go, why are we doing this? The thing is, there's people on the other side. Some people are working. Some people aren't. Some people just don't have the effort level that you want. But also, do you want to cut people? What does that make you feel like if all of a sudden Dang, who everybody likes, who may or may not be doing his job, we're going to just cut him? How does it make the rest of you feel when you all like Dang? You know? Can we not? You're gonna make everyone communal and just charge more.
Yeah. Because if you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Okay, so we're just going to charge you guys more. Bilk you. How does that make you feel? Not great. Why?
Because I feel like I'm being used to support someone else who isn't doing anything, even though I'm working hard.
And then you got jacked for more taxes. I mean, that's a tax, right? Why do we talk so much about feelings in a class that's supposed to be organizational management and benign, right? We always talk about how benign business is. Is that really the way we want to be treated? So you're going to have to go through this and actually see, maybe you don't cut anybody. But what are the things that we think that should be cut here? Give me a unit you feel is really worthless.
I would have to do some research.
Just
as
give me
to-
something. Stop being a
I'm
coward.
just-
Come on.
okay.
This is the Hunger Games. You're selected. You're part of Section 7, right? Or Section 12? District 12. Okay, she got it.
Based on my current knowledge, we have a counseling and wellness center, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to have Saints Care.
Let's cut that. What's going to happen when Saints Care gets cut? Give me an idea of what's going to happen.
People who need it won't have access to it.
People that need it won't have access to it. What's going to happen when we cut Saints Care? What do you think will happen? Give me an idea.
People will lose that resource and not be able. Some people still probably use it.
Why do we care if people have mental health resources?
Oh, God.
Why do I care?
Have you seen the rates of school shootings?
No, but also, I mean, get on another level. What also might happen? Suicide ideation, issues, right? Eating your hair, those kinds of bizarre things. I mean, right? So it doesn't care. He doesn't care about it.
We have a counseling and wellness center.
Well, we have a
And I
counseling
don't
and
know the
wellness center.
difference
Why?
between the two, so it doesn't seem like
But-
we need those.
So don't we think that we need to research what that means?
Right, and that's what I was saying.
But
before.
what I guess I'm saying is, isn't this part of the process? You actually learning what these things are? Because all of a sudden, something you don't believe matters is something that other people do. Dang, what are we going to cut?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there another dang?
I'm men.
This is
Oh, min. Sorry, I thought it was dang.
Okay, never mind.
Go for it.
Okay, so the thing that I got cut, it's just my opinion, is a health insurance.
Of what?
Health insurance. The school health insurance.
Health insurance.
Yeah, when I pay a tuition fee, I see this.
Okay, great. You guys all get to pay more for your health insurance. How does that make you feel? You get to pay $100 more a month instead of your 15.
Probably, I would say it's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient. We're taxing you more. How quickly do we lose students over that? Because what ends up happening with the health insurance? The cheap health insurance. What happens? All of a sudden I've got a bigger issue, right, for mental health. I'm going to use mental health because it's a good one, right? But I need to go to St. Pete's, right? I'll always call it St. Pete's. You can call it Providence, Swedish, whatever you want. It's St. Pete's to me. But what ends up happening? If I can't get to the hospital, look, it's great, but we can't put you on a hold. Why do we put kids on hold? Yeah, but why do we put kids on hold? You know what a hold is? That's where all of a sudden you're basically in a room where they watch you to make sure you're taken care of. Because we just want you to be well. So all of a sudden that goes away. You break your arm. You got money to pay for that? No. That's why you have health insurance, right? So what are we going to cut? Please say the baseball team. I just can't wait. Nah. Those coaches that are working at Home Depot halftime, yeah, boy, they're sure, I'm sure they're making gold. What are we going to cut? Tell me something you don't care about.
I don't care about it this school.
Yeah, tell me something. We're going to cut 10%. We got to cut from somewhere. What are we going to cut? What are we going to cut? You. Come on, give me something. Throw me. Give me something.
The art building.
The ARC building?
The art.
Arts building. Why are we going to cut the arts?
Everyone
Everyone loves to cut the arts.
I'm just not too interested. That's not like.
So you're not too interested, so it's okay. How many people go and they learn different things about themselves? They do art. Isn't that part of a liberal education? Well, you throw liberal out so many different ways, but shouldn't you learn about different aspects of art and have that kind of carry over? Do you not feel that you should learn more about English or, everything else?
Personally, no.
No? You think your English is up to snuff? Because when you submit your paper now, I am going to hold you accountable to the perfect English. I'm going to hold you so accountable. I'm going to make sure the English department looks it over. No, just you. Because you want to cut it, right? See, he's played this game. He's like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
What are you going to cut?
Say the best then.
You going to cut international studies?
No.
I hear they don't do a lot. No. What are we going to cut?
Some courses with terrible commons classes.
The commons?
Yeah, like some classes, and they have terrible commons from students.
The terrible commons students. I don't know. What?
Terrible like comments. Like,
Oh.
reviews. Yeah.
Oh, so if it's a class that nobody likes, so we'll have terrible comments. By the way, out of the evaluations, I had 23, right? Like that could have possibly 24. You get 9 back. So really, is that a good sample size? Not saying anybody said anything bad, but is that a good sample size for knowing whether you should cut a class? By the way, do you never notice that you guys weaponize your comments for how badly your grade is? You're like, I think I'm getting a bad grade. So is that a really good way to know whether or not I need a class? Maybe not. What are we going to cut? Think about it. I want to know next class what you're going to cut. Give me some ideas. Come on, Amy Sophia Montenegro. All right, leave.